I just know it's a shorter course.
Yeah.
What is up, jabronis? JJ back here with Snyder, Mangone, UncleT, Bobby Gomes, some know him as Rob. Talking a little PGA back after the Open. And speaking of Bob Gomes, you had the winner last week. We can call it chalk. We can call it whatever we want.
I wish I locked him in DFS. Dude.
John Rahm
in the top 50
with the win. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Anybody you want to thank?
Rahm was obvious last week. That was obvious. I don't want to think like the outright winner, but he was a very easy play.
What I do know is that he's. I mean, hey, look, it was his time to talk, UncleT. We can't be laughing at him. Rahm played like shit the first 3 days, and he was still like within striking distance. So when he finally started to find his game, it was just really, really well. And Louis quite a few folks, boys in RPS. I know Coop. Is it Coop's guy? Coop loves him, right? I think. Am I talking on my ass? Looks like I am. But anyway, so it was a nice little playoff between them two and Rahm to come out. But either way, Travelers Championship 2021. TPC River Highlands. Now, I would assume this is a bit of a downgrade. I'm looking at the competition. Looks like we've got a few people definitely missing at the top. And again, I'm no golf guy, but I will call the bullshit when I sniff it, especially from you, Travis. But we could start this show like we always do with DFS.
JJ, I don't know if you saw it there. I disappeared on you to insert my dominance prior to our other conversation, okay? I'm the captain now, all right? So knock it off. Don't do that again. That's your first strike for the show, JJ.
Well, I still got another one I can play with, so I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so DFS. Snyder, I'll start with you from whether it's you want to take your core, pound for pound, maybe your favorite play. Overall, who do you like on the DFS side?
Yeah, right now my favorite play is going to be Casey. He's off his sixth straight top 10 or sixth top 10 of the year. He's had really good course history here. I think he's had 3 top 5s in his last 4 appearances here, sitting just under 10K. I really like that price for him. And my favorite value guy, I think, is going to be Kyle Stanley.
Okay.
Course history here and has great recent form heading in for his price, so I like that.
Okay, I mess with that. Mangone, DFS, what do you like?
Yeah, before we start, can we get more of a breakdown on all the grass that Snyder's looking at this week? Do we have the Kakua? What do we got? Yeah, give us the course breakdown before we dive in, Snyder. I think we need that. JJ, I need to get the course breakdown. And
it's a valid. I don't know how I forgot it.
I think there's about 7 layers of rough here and about 7 pounds of salt on these greens. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. But it is going to play a lot shorter than it's going to be like, a 6,800-yard par 70. More of a second shot golf course. That's about it.
I respect it. Like, Snyder comes on this show looking like he's about to walk through the tropical rainforest, and he's able to give at least decent information about the course. Now, I will say this, just saying what you said, this is a big second shot course. Does this mean you're looking to avoid bombers?
I mean, I think you still can take those bombers, but they're going to be hitting into like some short clubs. They better hit the fairway, though, I think, when they bomb this place. I mean, the rough will be a little bit long, and I think there is some trouble out there for him. But I think like a guy like Bryson, he's had solid history here, just bombing and gouging. But I'm leaning more towards like your second shot, like guys that are going to hit it and then leave themselves with a good approach play.
Fair enough. And let the record show that we are only like 3 minutes into the show, and Mangone was already asked a question that he somehow avoided already. Mangone, DFS play. You want to hit us with something this time around, or?
Yeah, well, listen, I just want to make sure the viewers get what they're supposed to, JJ, okay? That's all. So we got the course breakdown. Now we can dive into the DFS play. So a couple guys that I'm looking at that are targets right now. I like Keegan Bradley. He's been playing some pretty good golf. The putting has, been a lot better as of recent. He has had some struggles, the last event, but I expect him to bounce back a bit. He also wasn't invited to the major, right? So maybe he was able to get a little more time down at this course and focusing more on that. And I also like a little Harris English, right? Definitely a perfect second shot golf course kind of guy. So I definitely think that Harris English is in play. My only worry with English is the course history has not been the best, but he played a lot better last year, and he's starting to round into some better form. And I still think 8,200 is still a little too cheap. So those are two guys that I'm definitely keying in on in that like low 8K range. There's a couple others too towards the top. Like I think Answer could be in play. Harmon. Those are two other guys that I like. But I still haven't figured out the exact build that I'm going to go with. But in that like mid-tierish range, that's kind of what I'm looking at there.
Awesome. Bobby, who do you like for DFS here?
Yeah, I'm a big flop lag guy, so I'm definitely going to be playing some Finau this week. Well, in the 9Ks, it's like Strillman at 9.4.
It's always next
You're
week, Bobby.
vacuum Paul Casey at 9.9. Like you're playing. You're not going to play Finau over that guy most weeks. Like it just makes sense.
I'm not this week either.
So you played him last week. That's fine.
No, I didn't.
I'm good.
I'll be honest. I like the approach at Finau because I do think a lot of people who
there's so much dead money in this pool from last week. Like how many people jumped in last week to play the U.S. Open and now they're not gonna play Finau, and he's at like relative to the price point that these other guys are at. Like we played 7-9 for Casey last week. Like he's 9-9 this week. I played Casey at the field at 150, but I don't know if I'm going to overweight him that. Like Finau, I'm going to get at 15%. I can get over on him 3x, play him at 45%, where I didn't play him last week. And then I can.
How Finau do here his last two trips?
What'd you say?
How'd Finau do his last two trips?
He didn't play well. It's 100%. It's fine. Like I get that he didn't play well, but what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. Like Finau's play is going to come up. We've known him to be a good golfer. Like I'm not really afraid to play Tony Finau. I know he's been bad, but
I like it. Bobby going with the high variance play with a guy in Finau who he's looking to progress to the mean at this course. Now, what I will say is that I do like it from a strategy perspective, DFS wise. I think if Finau had a good week this week at the Open, he likely is much higher owned this week. He had an awful week, so it probably will detract, especially if you're somebody building GBP lineups. You're definitely going to have Finau locked in there at a much lower number than you probably had this past week, and maybe some for some reasonable answer there, but probably not enough. So I do like that call, actually, Bobby. Uncle T, what do you got?
Yeah, before I go, like Bobby, you bring up a good point. I mean, I'm busting your balls a little bit about Finau, but no, you're banking on the field being upset at his recent history, maybe the bias towards the miscut last week. So I get it. I think for me, just because I like guys in this range around him more is why I'm more out on Finau, if that makes sense. Like I don't necessarily.
No, I 100% get that. Yeah. I get that. What I'm saying is, in a vacuum, would you play Finau or Paul Casey, like week to week usually?
Yeah. Well, I think it's again
Finau the majority of the time, right? Like, he's not, and the form isn't great, but.
No, but I think here's where I'll make my point and into my DFS pick, JJ, is I think it's a lot based on course setup too, and whether they fit for a course. And I think Paul Casey fits this course beautifully. He could have won here twice in the last 4 years. Bubba beat him basically twice in the last 4 holes and on the last hole in 2018. So I'm not saying that necessarily correlates and translates to Casey, being a smash spot this week. But just again, in a vacuum, just based off of the course setup, I'm going to side with Paul Casey this week.
Okay, so let's take Casey out of the argument. He doesn't. Matt Wolff, Kevin Streelman, or Finau.
None of them.
People are going to play like Matt Wolff. People are going to play over Finau this week. Like
I'm out on all three for the record. I don't know about the panel, but I'm out on all three. I don't know if we're getting off the rails here, JJ. If you want to continue on, I think it's great conversation because I know people that are listening to this. You know what I mean? They do have a DFS angle as well, and I think it's a good topic. And we'll let Snyder and Mangone get in here, but I think you bring up a good point. But for me, I'm out on Streelman, Wolff, and Finau because I'm going up to Casey. I'm going to play some Scheffler, and I really like Abe Answer, so I don't want to play 4 or 5 guys in this group.
Casey might have been a bad example in a vacuum versus Finau. He might have been the worst example of the 3.
So, Uncle T, just to confirm, your best look here, or your favorite look pound for pound would be Casey?
Yeah, it's Casey, but I also want to mention, JJ, I know we're only supposed to pick one, but I really do like the Keegan Bradley play as well, because if you look at Keegan Bradley, and this is a bet show, so I can talk a little bit more about it here than I did on the previous show, which is more of all DFS. Keegan Bradley right now, at least as of like 5 p.m., it could have changed. DK Sportsbook has Keegan Bradley at 40-1, and yet he's like the 23rd, 24th highest golfer on DK. So I think from a betting standpoint, you probably wouldn't be as in on Keegan at 40-1 down there, because I don't think there's as much value. But from a DFS standpoint, I do like Keegan Bradley as one of my favorite plays as far as his price. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. You know, I think that's a lot of people too, Uncle T. You know, leveraging sportsbook odds to try to determine maybe on certain players you're questionable on, or maybe you don't have a huge take or a huge lean either way. You know, leveraging what sportsbook odds tell you for, you know, dictating where there's value to be made on DFS. I think that there's a lot of people too, especially high stakes players, that maybe don't even take the time to look at course history, or they'll just let other, we'll call it sharp bettors, let them dictate who they pick for DFS, because they'll look at how the odds are moving, what lines opened at, what they're moving at throughout the week, where it's closing at, and then they'll use that to, you know, leverage a DFS on them. Not only in just golf either. I mean, this is in multiple sports. This stuff happens. Anyway, no, appreciate the good DFS breakdown all around. You guys mentioned a bunch of names as well. So if you're looking to build DFS lineup, I think that was more than enough quality. Now, Uncle T, I'll start with you here. We'll swing right back to you. Long shot, more than 50-1. That you think has value to win this thing, or the biggest value you think that there is to win this thing out of the player pool?
Yeah, did you say 50-1? Is that what we go by?
Yeah, you can go by 45-1. I think Mangone once gave a 20-1 and called it a long shot.
Yeah, I mean,
this is fake news. Very hurtful. just because Kevin Streelman shipped for me doesn't mean he was a 20-1 guy. I didn't find something we just booked, JJ.
I like actually two guys that I'm going to have to decide between, because I may even have an outright on both of them. But one of them is Doc Redman. Again, these numbers were as of earlier today, so they could have changed a little bit. Doc Redman at 66-1. Now on the surface, you may say, "Wow, he doesn't have a whole lot of win equity," and you know maybe he doesn't. But if we're talking about longer shots on the board, I do think that he's rounded into pretty good form. He's coming off a T2 his last time out. I think he brings a little bit of value at that price tag. And then the other one, I guarantee you, all four guys. JJ, you don't follow the golf as much, but you're all four going to give me a hard time about this. But I do think Ricky Fowler has some win equity in this field. He's playing better. He's coming off of a week where he was upset that he didn't make the U.S. Open. He's rested. He's got the baby narrative that he, you know, not that that's why I'm going in on him, but I just feel like Ricky Fowler is going to bust through one of these weeks and surprise us when we've all been trashing on him for like months. And now I think we could be buying back in, or at least I am. I'm buying back in on the, you know what I mean, on the longer term form, not on the most recent form. And I think Fowler could be a decent price tag down there at 66-1.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not somebody that's obsessed with golf markets by any means, but I do look at some of these names down this list, and it's like Fowler and Jason Day, 60-70-1. Is it just because they're out of form, they have bad course history, a little bit of both? Because I'm not used to seeing them in this area. I'm used to seeing them in that 30-40 area. Is that more to do with their form coming in, Uncle T? Yeah,
I mean, I'll take that. Yeah, because Jason Day's been in awful form. None of us have been on him. He's just playing some very poor golf. Ricky Fowler, again, for most of the spring here and into this, you know, the PGA season this year, he's been awful. He hasn't had trouble finding his form. But the last couple of weeks, he finished his T11 at the Memorial, T8 at the PGA. Again, he's rested, coming off of not playing last week. I just feel like, again, based on the field not being 100% as far as top heavy, we have some good golfers in this field, clearly. But again, if you're looking for a longer shot on the board that does have upside, as crazy as that sounds, I do think Fowler's got a little bit upside here. So go ahead and crush me, Snyder and Travis. I know you're getting ready to.
No, makes sense. But before you guys do, Bobby Gomes, who's eating his Carvel, is going to have to give us a long shot. So, Bobby, who you like long shot?
I'm gonna go Carlos Ortiz, 70-1. Mangone's guy.
All right.
The Carlos Ortiz guy.
And again, another guy that kind of let down last week. I don't want to say he was a popular play, but I know from a DFS perspective, he was a pretty guy.
Carlos Ortiz is good, man.
A lot of guys valued him on the lower end, and I think he barely missed the cut. We have 5 over or 6 over. Either way, Mangone, who's your long shot?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like Carlos Ortiz every week. So, yeah, I'm not going to say him, though. I'm going to go, man. So, JJ, you're going to, Uncle T said that Keegan Bradley is 40-1, but I decided to price shop this one, and I got Keegan Bradley at 50-1. So I got him on Bet365. So, JJ, I'm going exactly on the number 50-1 with Keegan Bradley. That'll be my long shot. Again, I think this is a good week for him. He's been rounded in some nice form. And when you're aligned with Uncle T, things are going well. So give me Keegan Bradley.
That's right. That's right. Snyder.
Yeah, I'm going to jump for a guy quite a bit down the board. I mean, he's had 4 wins in his career. It's been a while, but Chris Kirk, he's coming in at 110-1 odds I've seen. He really started out 2020 strong. Did really well. I think he had 4 top 10s and a second place to start the year. And I think this course is going to set up really well for him. And his iron game is coming back. His short game's coming back. And I like his how he sets up here.
Like it. Ballsy as well. Snyder, I can come right back to you. Obviously, we do this every week, so the format's always the same. I know stagnant's not good, but we could mix it up a little bit. But for now, we'll keep it the same.
Bobby, hold on, JJ. Bobby, come up for air. Damn, you're not giving that thing a chance. Dear Lord, take a breath.
Yeah, I'm Uncle T. I'm waiting.
I'm a big ice cream guy.
I'm waiting for him to take a bite of the cup.
Speaking of mixing it up, what do we got mixed up in there? Are there sprinkles?
I'm a big rainbow sprinkle guy too.
Yeah.
We knew you were a rainbow sprinkle guy, Bobby. Come on.
Don't be hating on the rainbow sprinkles. Some of us also on this show love rainbow sprinkles.
I'm a big rainbow. I'm not even messing around. Even chocolate chimneys are good too. Like,
what else is in there? It's rainbow sprinkles, and what's the ice cream? Did you go vanilla?
I'm vanilla.
Vanilla, basic. Some would call that basic, Bobby.
Basic.
But it works. It works. So Snyder, who wins this tournament?
I think it comes down to 2 guys I really like, Abe Answer and Paul Casey. I think they're going to both be battling. This course really sets up well for both of them. And I really like, Casey's 18-1. You can get Answer right around 28 to 30-1, I think. And I think it comes down to one of those 2 guys.
Mangone, who's your winner here?
Yeah, I do like the Answer call. That's kind of the guy that I think could get his first win, right? It's hitting it way better off the tee lately, which I think off the tee and accuracy is going to matter. Of course, it is a second shot golf course too, but I think that off the tee accuracy is going to be important this week. If that's the case, I also do like Scotty Scheffler there. I think he's like a contrarian DFS option too, and he played really well last week. I don't think many thought that he would play as good as he did, and he was someone I was on last week. I'll probably be on him again in DFS, and betting-wise, I don't hate him there at that number. So I like Scott. I'll go with Scotty Scheffler just because Snyder said Answer, but those are 2 guys I think that are really good options.
Awesome. Bobby, who's having himself a ball.
You guys aren't going to like my answer here.
Over here. Was that like a pun because you're going to say Answer?
No. I thought
don't give him that much credit.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Finau.
Oh God. I don't even want to type it.
Get back to your ice cream.
All right, just put Bobby like chalk thick is like rainbow sprinkles. Don't.
Why can't I like Finau? It makes a ton of sense to like
that type of comment deserves a brief comment. Okay. That type of comment. He knows what we said about Tony Finau before the show. He knows the guy can't win.
He's in timeout.
And what does he do? Who's going to win the tournament? Tony Finau? Look, I'll eat shit if I have to. If Finau wins, it's fine. We can take back this recording. It's fine. But Jesus Christ, Robert. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
No, I like Finau's going to win eventually.
Happy begin, JJ.
Last week, people thought it was going to be the week. Could be this week.
It's like you think he learns and then he doesn't. Oh God! You can come back as soon as Uncle T's done. Now I got to look up Finau's odds. It doesn't even matter what his odds are. 28.
They're not high enough.
Dead money.
Okay, Uncle T, who do you like?
Yeah, real quick, JJ, because I meant to bring this up before and I didn't, and I think it's important. You brought up at the top of the show about if this course sets up for bombers or short hitters, and to answer that, I don't know if any of us answered that, but it's really a little bit of both. Bubba Watson, who's one of the longer hitters on tour, has won here 3 times. However, you also have guys like Ches Reavie, Kevin Streelman, and even Stuart Sinks won it a couple times. So just wanted to circle back to that and let everybody know, at least from my standpoint, I'm not targeting one or the other. So, but as far as my winner this week, I really hate to side with Snyder, but on the other hand, I like to side with Snyder because he picks winners. I'm going with Paul Casey. Guys, he's been close here 3 times the last 4 years, and he just hasn't gotten it done. But the course sets up beautifully for him. He's got 2 top 5s or 2 T5s and a T2 when Bubba beat him. And I just feel like he's due to come. You know what I mean? It sets up beautifully. He's going to get it done this week. Paul Casey's going to win this golf tournament.
Awesome. And I'll tell you what, Uncle T, you scared me a bit there because I thought you were going to go like heel for a second. Like where you were like, I'm going to side with one of my guys here. And I thought you were going to be like Tony fucking Finau.
Oh, no. I didn't want to get zapped. I want to stay on the show with you guys.
Yes. So now that Bobby was a late entry back in, he's now changes the order up a bit. In terms of matchups, and I you know what, it almost scared me to even ask Bobby this question about matchups because I guess it's going to be anything Tony Finau. But yes, matchups wise, Robert, who do you like, or who are players you're targeting, and then who would you want to fade?
Can we skip me and go to Mangone on this one?
Sure.
I'm deep into my ice cream, and I messed up my DraftKings passwords.
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. I think Bobby's currently like under the influence. I mean, he's talking about Finau winning the tournament, doesn't even remember his DraftKings password. He's eating ice cream like live on a show. I just think that things are off tonight for Robert. We'll get back to you, Uncle T. Matchups you're looking to, I guess find value in, and maybe guys you're fading.
Yeah, there's one matchup I do like on DK Sportsbook right now, and it's Keegan Bradley -114 either way against Charlie Hoffman. I like Keegan Bradley in this spot. Charlie Hoffman, again, in a vacuum, we've played him a lot recently, and he's been playing very well, but I don't think this course sets up nearly as well for Charlie as it does Keegan Bradley. So as far as a matchup, I do like Keegan there, -114. From a targeting standpoint, I'm going to be targeting guys like Casey, Answer, Keegan Bradley, Brian Harmon, who I haven't mentioned much. I'm going to be targeting those guys in matchups. And guys I'm going to be fading, I'm fading Brooks Koepka for sure. He's my number 1 fade this week. And Matthew Wolff could be my number 2 guy because I think Matthew Wolff is he's picking up a little bit of traction, and I don't know why, just based off of one good week. His price gets elevated from a DFS standpoint, $2,200, and I'm going to be targeting against Wolf. I won't have him in any DFS lineup, and I'm definitely targeting against Brooks Koepka. It's not a major week, so I'm out on Brooks.
I like that as well. I see names like Koepka in here, and it's like, it's not a major. It's a week after it. He kind of let down late. I mean, he was in the mix basically all weekend, but then kind of let down a bit late. So, yeah, I mean, motivation-wise, I'm not sure where that's going to come from him. But, again, who knows? Mangone, who's your favorite maybe matchups, and who you looking to fade?
Yeah, man, I looked at some of these matchups. They're a bit tough. I mean, I would love to grab some Answer in matchups, right? But I don't love a lot of the ones I'm seeing. So if you can get him in some good spots, like we're on FanDuel. I saw FanDuel had they had him against Kevin Streelman, right? Like I don't want to attack Streel Daddy, right? Like that's a guy I like, and I think he's in a good spot. He's a little pricey on DK, but I do think this is a good course for him. So not what I want to attack. And then on DK, they had Answer against Neiman, which Snyder, let me ask you this question, because I was thinking about Neiman. He is a longer guy, right? But I feel like this is a way better course for Answer. So what is your take on Neiman this week? Because he's someone, again, he's long off the tee, and he can have some really good iron play, but he can be a real donkey around the green and with his putter.
Yeah, I mean, the guy I was looking to attack this week was actually Neiman. I mean, I don't feel that he's shown us much upside. I mean, he's made a bunch of cuts recently, but, I mean, it seems like his ceiling has been like in that 30 to 40 range finishing-wise. I mean, he hasn't been able to break through, and I really think Answer, and I seen he was matched up with English somewhere. I think those guys are just way better plays at this course, and they're just recent form is way better than him too coming in. And I think I seen Answer at DK, like you said, and then they had Harris English at -110 at Bet365, and I think both of those are really good spots to attack him.
Awesome. And then Snyder, who's your favorite matchup guy, or even biggest fade?
Yeah, I'd be fading Neiman in those two spots. I mean, another guy I might look to fade is like a Cameron Smith. He hasn't been playing well recently, and he's matched up with Harris English I've seen, which I'm definitely liking English. A lot of the same guys UncleT was on as well.
Awesome. And then Bobby, any matchups you like?
Yeah, so for me, I'm pretty like anything to get Brian Harmon on. I like -130 versus Kevin Streelman +100 on Bookmaker. I like Harmon there. Also, DK pricing, like Streelman's more expensive than Harmon, so I think that's interesting. And yeah, my guy, Big Tony. Tony everywhere.
Oh,
I tell you what, this would be a slam dunk for Bobby if Finau does perform really well. But man,
that's his third strike, JJ.
I mean, you know what? It's very tough. It's very tough. He spent a decent amount of time in timeout, and he still comes in here talking about Tony F. I won't say the last name. It's just Tony F. Okay, we'll switch over to top 20s, and then obviously you'll last say, if you will, Snyder, top 20s or a top 20 that you like in this tournament. What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, like always, like I say, FanDuel seems to have the best odds on these top 20s, so I'm going to be looking over there. You can get a guy like Sam Burns at +300 to top 20, and he's definitely shown his recent, like his ceiling. He can finish top 5, top 10 real easily on a course like this, I think. So I like the 3-1 odds on him. You can get like a guy like Brendan Steele, great course history here. I think he got 6th here last year. He's coming off a bad event, but I like the +550 you can get with him as well.
Awesome. Mangone, who you like top 20?
Yeah, I mean, so Snyder brings up a great point with the FanDuel, right? So if you pull up DK, I talked about Answer and liking him, the +138 or +175. Like, that's just a great example of reasons the line chop. So definitely be doing that. I'm gonna go with I'll give it a different option because again I like Answer. I've talked about it enough. We'll go with Harris English at +190. I do think English is playing some pretty good golf. I think I'll go with him at +190 over on FanDuel. And then DK, just again the price shop and explain +163, right? So you're getting a nice little upgrade there, shopping that on FanDuel.
Awesome. UncleT, who do you like top 20?
Yeah, I love the Sam Burns call +300 on FanDuel. Schneider, I really like that one. And again, I can only look on DK Sportsbook here, so you guys may get a better price on this. But top 20 Fowler +250 and Doc Redman +275. I would assume those would be even longer odds on FanDuel, but I do like both of those guys for T20s this week.
What are those odds, UncleT?
On DK, Fowler was +250, so okay. You can check and see what Fowler was.
Yeah, +300.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to Mangone Sportsbook, you can get +310 if you'd like.
I love it. What's the max I can bet?
I'm with.
I don't know. You gotta look into it. I mean, you place your wager, and it'll be that ticker that says like 90 seconds. We're gonna look and see what we can.
Let me know what the max bet is because I do have my nephew did just win the Millie recently, so I do have access to a little bit of change. So.
I know your nephew. Your nephew is not going to allow that Ricky Fowler bet. I will say that.
All right, well, let's go with Doc Redman. What was he there? Because I like that one probably better. Doc Redman for a top 20.
+310.
Yep. Mark that one down, JJ. That's the one I like.
310 at the Mangone Sportsbook. You love to see it.
What hours are you guys open, Mangone?
Oh, we're open 25/7, 1 hour more than the competition. That's how we roll.
Bobby, I'll tell you this. So Tony F, I don't necessarily mind a top.
I'm not going with Tony Finau here.
So this is where you're not going. I mean, like this would
I could go.
Way to go, Terry.
Can we talk about how Bobby's ice cream is gone? Like he housed that thing.
The cup's gone too, man. Somehow we ate the cup during the show.
Siwoo Kim +230 Carlos Ortiz plus 230. Like UncleT, I can only bet on DraftKings Sportsbook. Well, I can't even bet on Draft. Just look at it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with those guys for my top.
It was Kim and who else?
And you could play Finau for the top 20 because he's gonna win.
It was Kim and who else?
Kim and Carlos Ortiz.
Oh, Ortiz. Okay, so awesome. So I guess we go through final notes. You can use this time to say anything. Your last DFS call, somebody you think who's going to win it. We're likely going to skip Bobby throughout this segment, but it'll be just your last words on the tournament. Maybe how it's relative to the Open last week. Maybe what's overvalued or undervalued. But regardless, Snyder, we'll start with you. What are your last notes on this tournament, Travelers?
I'm looking to fade Tony Finau for sure, as well as Ricky Flower. And I like Casey and Answer. I like Kirk going low. I like this guy named John Pack. He burned a bunch of people in his first PGA Tour event, and he's coming for some revenge here at a much easier course, I think.
Awesome. Mangone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, like, to reference Big T said we can't play John Pack because he has 2 earrings, right? Like, I mean,
he's got a good point there. I have to say. He really does have a good point there. But Snyder made a good point as well with Pack. I think Pack's a good play.
I mean, UncleT, what's our take on the earrings on the golf course? Is that allowed?
I mean,
earrings after college are just not. You can't do it.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I didn't know that actually, Mangone. So I got to put that on my erase board up here. What's he wear? Double earring?
He's got the double. I'm staring at a picture of him at Florida State holding a trophy with the double diamond studs, right? Like,
are there dudes next to him too, or what? I mean,
no, he's holding a trophy. I mean, he shipped it. I mean,
so I see a picture of him with some black studs, and I have a confession to make. Both my ears are pierced. I used to rock black studs.
Yeah, my ears are pierced too, but I stopped wearing earrings at like a respectable age.
But after 21,
there's correlation there.
Yeah, after 21, I never wore earrings.
Yes, after
Is
21.
Pack even 21?
I have not worn them. However, I kind of respect it. Him being like, this is how I want to show myself, and
he definitely still wears earrings.
He's got some swag.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
JJ, I'll say this though. I didn't get to give because I took us off on the some course to talk about John Pack's earrings, but we're back.
We're back.
I've given out the slam the lock button play, right? I gave out Kevin Streel Daddy. We'll continue this segment until it fails, right? That's how segments work, JJ. So Streel Daddy got T13, right? It worked out well. Then Adam Scott, I said slam the lock button. I slammed the lock button on him. T35. Not the worst, not the best. You'll take it at that 7,400 tag, right? We're going to slam the lock button on Keegan Bradley at 7,900. So it's always a bumpy ride for Keegan Bradley, but it's been a lot smoother lately, and hopefully it's smooth sailing to the finish line.
Awesome. Love it. UncleT, final notes?
Yeah, I love the T35 Adam Scott victory lap, Mangone. I love it. I mean,
UncleT, it's respectable, right?
I had him last week. I'm good with it.
You could have had someone else, right, that missed the cut. Again, 74. We take it. It's fine. We march on. That's just how
that is a good point you bring up, UncleT, because Mangone basically like I bang Streel Daddy as a top 20. I bang Adam Scott as a top 65.
Again, so the Adam Scott keeps the streak rolling, right? It wasn't one of those that you go and say, hey, like, you don't brag about it, but you just say it moves it along, right? And if we can get a nice one this week, we're fine.
You love to see it.
Yep. So before I get into that, one last thing, because if for whatever reason that Tony guy does win, the good part about that is I'm not going to be able to make it next week on the show because I will be on vacation with the family. So when Bobby Gomes or Robbie Gomes or Rob Gomes takes his victory lap, I'm going to be watching from Florida this show next week, and he won't be able to give me shit. But anyway, on to my Brian Harman and Paul Casey are going to be my 2 main guys this week. I think Paul Casey gets it done and gets the W. But I also love Harman, both in DFS and in outrights, matchups, all that. So those are my 2 final notes. Next week, Rocket Mortgage, where my boy Big Daddy Bryson will be defending.
Yeah, I'm also going to say if Tony Finau does win, the show will be canceled next week. We will be back. We will
Even
be back.
better.
We will be back in a few weeks. So stay tuned for that information. But Bobby, who's what do we got for final notes here?
Well, I picked the winner last week. I didn't go too far out on a limb, but I picked the winner last week and picked the winner this week. Tony Finau, that's your winner.
Yep. Bobby, real quick, can you get off your burner account in the chat? Bubba Wallace guy? Okay, I'm on Finau, I guess. I mean, Bobby,
Why?
get off your burner.
You don't have to. Yeah, I don't know. I like Finau this week. Maybe it's
Bobby must have like 6 arms. He's eating ice cream. He's firing up burners. It's impressive. It's impressive. All right, guys, another good golf show. Appreciate you guys as always popping in. Depending on the time you watch this, whether you're obviously watching live, or you watch tomorrow, or again whenever. We wish you all nothing but the best of luck with all your sports bets. Joey Work will have more MLB on this channel this week, along with Spread, Tyler, and the DFS crew doing NBA as well. And then UncleT, will there be a golf show DFS tomorrow, like usual?
You know what? I really don't know, to be quite honest. Normally I do. I don't think so. Big T didn't say anything about it today. I don't think that – well, you know what? They might be, JJ, because I think they're going to try to get maybe that guy on that won the Millie on the 44-44.
Okay.
The RPS guy, I think I heard that they're going to try to get him on the show, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Regardless, so of course, be following Run Pure Sports if you are not already. Subscribe to the channel and the Twitter as well. But again, we'll have content on this channel for the rest of the week, along with Run Pure Sports and for DFS. So again, as always, thank you for watching. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. Stay safe, and as always, folks, run pure. See you next week.